So tomorrow we will be leaving to Portugal after 18 years of Macau. We are giving this big step as one. The family is going all together and restart our life in Portugal. It's not easy. It's a mixed feeling. Let's start with the good. It's a very good feeling to finally be able to, after the 3 years of the pandemic, we did not leave Macau. So there's a kind of relief to finally be able to travel and to be close to my family. I miss my brothers, my sisters, my parents, my friends. So looking forward to see them and to be with them.
During his time in Macau, former radio host George Val met his wife and fathered 2 children. But 3 years of strict pandemic restrictions made him rethink whether Macau was the best place to raise his family.
In the pandemic, we were blessed and protected. The other side of the pandemic is that it took our freedom from us, right? Because even if I have the choice to go to Portugal to visit my family, etc., it was not doable because I don't have enough vacation to spend the time to travel to visit the family, to come back and stay in the hotel for how many days, and it's impossible. I had no choice but to stay here and work. You're in my house. You can see how privileged I am. In terms of the material things, I have a good life, I have a good job, but the pandemic made me look to the interpersonal relationships, to my family, to my kids, and made me think that even if I have to sacrifice all of this comfort, financial comfort, material comfort, it will be worth it, because what I get is what is really meaningful in life.
Val is just one of many Portuguese people in Macau who have recently decided to leave. Brazilian scholar Vanessa Amaro noticed an increasing number of Portuguese leaving Macau during the pandemic. Since 2012, she had been following the local Portuguese community to study their sense of identity in the former Portuguese colony. When she did a follow-up in 2022, she learned that more than half of her subjects had already left Macau. None of them had expressed any thoughts of leaving when she first started the research 10 years ago. There is no up-to-date data of the number of Portuguese citizens living in Macau after the city reopened its border.
Every time we go like to parties, to events, to other people's house, it's a topic people talk about, right? Everybody says the same, oh, one day we will have to go, but we don't know exactly when, right? It can be like in a few months or it can be like in a few years, right? But everybody has that feeling that one day we will have to go.
Amaru said the pandemic has become a catalyst that pushed many Portuguese away, as many felt that they were slowly losing their freedom.
The pandemic situation, all those restrictions, actually made people scared of what could happen to them if they stayed in Macau. What I think the impression of the people in this community is that they do not have control over their lives at the moment. Because like we had like new regulations, new laws coming, people, they also feel a little bit more afraid of speaking out because they don't feel protected. They're afraid, for example, oh, if I say something, like if I share my opinion in my own social media, may I get punished? And they don't have that idea that Macau is still a place where freedom is guaranteed. So people decide, okay, I think I cannot stay here living with this kind of insecurity, right? It was kind of like a concern for many people.
Sandra Pimentel says the pandemic restrictions played a major part in her decision to leave the city after 10 years. But the former journalist at the government-owned news service says she also felt her work was becoming increasingly restrictive.
In March 2021 in TDM, we had a meeting with the board of our controller, the information controller, and they told us that there was new guidelines for performing our work as journalists, as reporters. We couldn't listen to opinions that were different from the ones that Macau government or the central government has. There was this kind of guidelines. On that day, I felt that I was going to leave Macau for good.
Pimentel said the government's ban on holding a vigil to commemorate the Tiananmen Square incident on June 4th and the disqualification of opposition candidates in the 2021 legislature election also led to her decision to move back to Portugal. But both Pimentel and Val said Macau would always be a part of their life.
It's a rich part of my story as a person, as a professional. I am very, very proud of my professional path in Macau. Also very, very proud of my personal path with all the people that I met, and they still are a part of my life, most of them. And Macau will always be home. Oh, Moon will always be home.
If Macau was a girl, I deeply fallen in love with this girl 18 years ago, and it's so hard to break up a relationship of 18 years, and especially with so many good memories and with the feelings I have of feeling grateful, and so you can understand how deep is my feeling. I always said that I will never do a tattoo, because a tattoo is something that will stick with you for life. But I finally find something that I know will stick with me for this life and the next life, and that is Macau.